one candidate for the snitch, but the majority of people believe it's T.I. The comment section of the snitching rumor has been flooded with comments like, it's gotta be T.I., since it's the first name that comes to mind when it comes to ATL and rappers. As you can imagine already, T.I.'s name's been dragged all over social media because of that. Some of those same people who believe T.I. is the one to blame were quick to make jokes on his account. Just take a look at this tweet. T.I. equals top informant. TIP, telling in progress. Guess he's king of trap music. Others, however, think this has gone way too far. There's no way that anyone other than the person who wrote the tweet could know more about who the snitch is, if there even is one. I hate the people just throwing random people's names out just because they've spoken out and wanted better for their city. Only person that knows a name is the person who made the post, but y'all go off. But let's assume that he is snitching. Why T.I. though? Why would he do such a thing, and why does he come to mind first out of all these other names? Well, he's been known to the ATL community as someone who wants to make a change in the community. He filmed an ad for the so-called Crime Stoppers, a non-profit program which fights crime by collecting information about possible suspects.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta.
But that's not the end of it. T.I. also had an appearance on live news where he spoke on how Atlanta needs to be safe and protected. This might come as a surprise from some of y'all, but T.I., he's been at it for a while. He's been actively trying to reduce the crime rate of the city for quite some time. On his social media, he went as far as calling Atlanta Wakanda. If you think about it, this could as well be sufficient reasons as to why someone would conclude that T.I. really is a snitch. But is one Crime Stoppers ad and one news appearance that advocates order and safety enough to make him suspicious so much that he's now a snitch? Isn't this kind of taking it too far? There are a couple of points that can be made in TIP's defense.
And when everything else goes away, when you don't get treated right in New York, when you don't get treated right in LA, when you can't get treated right in Detroit, when you don't get treated right in St. Louis, when you don't get treated right in Alabama, Atlanta has been here for us. This city don't deserve it. However, I understand that a lot of others do.
For starters, T.I. has been pretty tight with Young Thug for years. They've been making music together, and everyone knows that they're friends. Their joint track About the Money was the beginning of it all. Since then, they've collaborated a bunch of times. Plus, you really can't make a strong argument that T.I. supports the system. If anything, he is opposing it strongly. What would make him rat out a couple of brothers to the police if he doesn't agree with what the police represent? Hell, he's even been to jail himself. He's been locked up for over a year for gun possession charge. That kind of goes against the idea of T.I. as a snitch. Many people say that he filmed the commercial for the Crime Stoppers simply because that was necessary in order for him to get a reduced sentence. If it wasn't for that, TIP probably would never done that stuff. However, everyone has a change of heart every now and then. Perhaps we just don't have enough details to make a sound judgment. Maybe T.I. was offered some sort of deal by the feds that he couldn't turn down, but only time will tell. What's also worth pointing out is the fact that there are other names like Killer Mike that are also being tossed around that he could be the snitch. Since the rumor only says that it's an Atlanta rapper, it could be plenty of other people. You know what I'm saying? Killer Mike is actually a real activist. He's been the one of the most prominent figures in the ATL community in the recent years. He's been fighting issues like social inequality, police brutality, and systemic racism. It would seem natural to assume that he is the one talking to the police though. Well, maybe. Yes and no. On one hand, everyone remembers his emotional speech after George Floyd got killed by a police officer. If you're against the police killing your black brothers, then why would you ever in your life help them out by working with them? That's just goofy. On the other hand, even though he doesn't do music anymore, he was a rapper at one point in his life. Any successful rapper from ATL knows very well that you gotta rap if you wanna make it in the game. Therefore, Killer Mike might be a hypocrite. If he is one, well, that means he may as well be working with the popos. At the end of the day, though, it's all a matter of perspective more than anything else. Same thing that was said for Killer Mike can be said for T.I. Who knows why either of them would do such a thing? We're not trying to accuse TIP or Killer Mike for telling here. We're simply saying what the general audience believes. Since there's been no name dropping or hinting, that could be anyone in Atlanta, honestly. Some of the comments on YT made that clear. There's nothing wrong with wanting violence to stay out of your community. People have to grow up. But what are y'all thoughts about the possibility of T.I. snitching on Thugger, YSL, and maybe even others? Do you think he told on YSL?